Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon or good evening depending on when you're watching this, and welcome back to the GrianaigCreations podcast channel. My name is Kirsty, my pronouns are they, them, and I am coming to you from a really gloriously sunny but very chilly Paisley in Scotland. You may or may not see off to my left Oogie, my cat, who is trying very hard to dig out her toy. Come on, down. Because I hid it because it's got Belle on it, and this is now like the third time I've tried to record, and every time I do, she keeps hitting her wee toy. And it doesn't really bother me, but it might bother one of you, and so I have hidden her toy and we will have playtime after I record. So yeah, hi. Also ignore the weird hair. I got it cut last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, and we're in that awkward trying to grow out stage, so we're rolling with it. We're gonna see how it works out. And as you might be able to see, there is quite a bright shaft of sunlight coming in, so I'm gonna try and not move too much to that side. But yeah, this video is the knitting, or the October knitting video, and I didn't think I had a lot to show, but looking at everything I've pulled out, one of them is still hiding in a bag that, if I'm not careful, will knock over. Let's see if I can do this. I might nudge the stand. There we go, got it. One of them I forgot to lift out my bag. There we go. So yeah, I didn't think I had a lot to show. As I may have mentioned at the top of this, I don't remember, I've tried to start recording this so many times now. I finally accepted the fact I had hit burnout from my job, and my wanting to craft, or my energy levels to be able to craft, have been very low. And all I wanted to do was cast on a new blanket and work on that. So not a lot of other things have received a lot of love. But since the last time I recorded, I could actually probably say I've done quite a bit across several projects. So I'm not going to go in any particular order. They're all whips, works in progress. I don't have any finished objects at all. I'm quite close to having 2 finished garments though, which is really nice. So we'll see how those get on. But for now, I don't have any finished objects to share with you, just works in progress. So first one is the carved pullover. I have a lot of surplus yarn that I'm not going to need, so I don't know what I'll do with that when I'm done. But last time I showed this, I was covered in cat hair. I think I was here the last time you saw this, and I just had to do quite a few decreases, and really annoyingly, I had done quite a lot of work on this sleeve, and then when I tried it on, I was not happy with it, so I actually ripped it all the way back and redone the same portion. So I knit all of this, and then I really didn't like the decrease rate that I had done it at, and so I ripped it all back out and changed my decrease rate to the exact same that it was actually in the pattern. And my decreases stop here, and then I knit straight for quite a while. I say quite a while, maybe like 10 rows. 14, 10, 14. And I'm really happy with the fit. I've then done probably around 10 rows of the 1x1 rib with the surprisingly stretchy bind off. I don't like tight cuffs. I have the tendency to roll sleeves up, and so I don't like anything that doesn't allow me to push my sleeves up. So one sleeve is completely done. does obviously need its ends woven in and whatnot. And then I actually got started on the second sleeve as well. So if I didn't say this at the top, this is the carved pullover. And I really would love to have this finished by the 30th and the 31st of October. All going to plan. Scott and I are hoping to get away, not away, but we're hoping to go out for an anniversary lunch because it's coming up for our 1-year wedding anniversary. Cannot believe how quickly time has flown. And I would like to wear this, but I'm not sure. I'm probably going to wear a dress, and a cardigan would have been a wee bit more like better suited for my outfit. But I would really still love to have this finished for Halloween. So I think I have still around 20 decreases to go. And I was making so much good effort on this, and I was working away on it quite happily. But I think it triggered my bad shoulder because this is DK weight yarn. It's knit on 4mm needles, and so I think just that combination and how involved I was in this project, like I was like really kind of hyper focused on this. I think I just overdone it and I triggered my bad shoulder, so I was in quite a bit of pain. So I had to stop crafting for a couple of days to let that settle and heal, and then I picked this back up at a slower rate, so I wasn't knitting as quickly or as enthusiastically, and I triggered my shoulder again. So I haven't picked it up in a couple of weeks, and that makes me a little sad, but I would rather work on other projects than deliberately hurt my shoulder. So we'll get there, it will get done, and it will look fantastic because I have tried it on. I've been checking like the sleeve fit. I'm very happy with the length of the body. I don't think I'm going to block it. I know, heaven forbid, I said the unthinkable. But I'm happy with the size it is. I don't think any of the stitches need relaxed at all. I think it will just stretch out nice when I'm wearing it. And I don't want it to grow. Like I'm very happy with it how it is. I don't need it to grow. I don't want it to grow. So this is Partupu wool, which is the elite wool, 220 meters per 100 grams, and it is 51% acrylic and 49% wool. Yeah, I don't remember where I got this from. I think it was somewhere called the Pound Basket, and they do good deals on some wools. And I picked up 2 packets because there's no way, like this was a 5-pack, and there's no way I've made a full sweater with 1 pack of yarn. So I definitely picked up 2, and it's a good thing because obviously I'm now into the 6th ball for this sweater. And yeah, if I hold the sleeves together and I turn this around, you'll see where I am and where I need to get to. So maybe it's not 20 more decreases, but I've still got a good amount to go, and then it will be done. And then I can just weave in all my ends and I can wear it. Oh, my bag fell away. Oh, I forgot one project. It's upstairs on my desk. I need to pause and go up and get it at the end. And the next project, may as well go with another garment. Oh, sorry, didn't mean that. The next one I'm so happy about. So you'll look at it and be like, that's crochet, that shouldn't be in the knitting section, but I'm on to all the knitted bits, so it is knitting. But this is my Hexie cardigan, and the body of the cardigan is knitted, and the body of the cardigan is crochet. But I decided that I love when a project has a mix of the two. I really do love when you've got, say, like your cuffs and your waistband and your collar. I love when that's knitted. Oh my goodness, my brain's frazzled. So the body is crochet, and then I've knitted the cuffs, the waistband, the button / collar as well. And this is the project I really wanted a shawl collar for. And for the longest time I had let this sit because I wasn't really sure how to go about doing that shawl collar. Because I'm not following a pattern anymore, I don't have a pattern to tell me how to do my shawl collar and my button band at the same point, because I do want buttons. So the last time you had seen this, I think I had finished the waistband. I'm not 100% sure, but if I hadn't, it is now finished. I have cast off. I think I was hesitant about the waistband, and therefore I hadn't finished it because I'd picked up so many stitches for the waistband. But I'm really really grateful that I did pick up as many stitches, because if I let it relax, it does pull in like ribbing would do. And then when it's pulled taut, it goes to the width that the cardigan is through the crochet alone. So I'm really, really happy with how that's turned out. And now I'm on to the button band and the collar. And this kind of sat with only maybe 2 rows of 2x2 rib, even to the point of just halfway through last week. And I've been thinking about how to go about a shawl collar because, again, as I stated earlier, I'm not following a pattern. I am making this up as I go along. And I've done some research online. I've gone on to some websites that have kind of like sort of step by step, but also just some really good guides as to what to do. And I'm so glad I'd done that, because I think had I not, I would have really messed this shawl collar up. So as you can see, that's a lot of ribbing, but when I fold it over, it's my start of my shawl collar. So this is the side I haven't picked up my wraps, and you'll see that for most of it they're quite regular, but there's this one down here that's not as regular. And I did sorry, I'm watching Oogie try and get in her cat bed, and instead of going through the door of one of the sections, she's gone through the smallest window, but she got in. So I started by doing it like 4 stitches after, or 4 stitches before the wrap. And then when I actually kind of sat down and thought about it, I was just like, that's going to be a lot of rows. And so I thought, okay, I will move to 6 stitches between. And then when I'd done that, I was just like, okay, maybe that's not going to be enough. I'll maybe do 4 stitches and then 6 stitches and then 4 and then 6 and so on and so forth. And then I was just like, okay, that's not going to be enough rows. And so I went back to just 4 stitches between each wrap. And I didn't want to work back to undo the row that had 6 stitches in between it. And so I've just left it. And I've knitted all my wraps on this side. And I think it looks fine. I think it looks absolutely fine. And I'm really, really happy with it. So now I need to work the opposite direction and pick up my wraps for the other side. And I'm thinking I need to do at least, I'm trying to use my finger measuring tattoo, So I'm just over 1/2 inch so far at the narrowest point. And I think I would like at least 1 inch, if not preferably 1.5 inches. So I'm going to be adding more rows to this, which is obviously going to make that flip back further. Because I don't know, I just love the idea of a drastic shawl collar, like a really, really big shawl collar. But yeah, once I have that done, all I have to do is go in and weave in all these ends from where I decided to cut the project. Because I had pretty much all of my rows, all my ends woven in on the actual hexagon sides of it. But then because I went in and cut my work so that I had a V-neck, I have a lot of ends now to weave in. So I have additional work for when I'm done, but that's fine. But yeah, I cannot wait for this to be, I'm stuck on an end. Can't wait for this to be done. It's gonna be like so good. Oh, it just looks so good already, and the collar could be bigger. There. Oh, you can see. Oh no, that's my shawl. You can see. Oh, doesn't that just look so good? Yeah, once it's done, I'll need to ask someone to take photos, because I'm really, really proud of this project and it makes me very happy. Right, I didn't drop any stitches, did I? Oof, close. So I'm not sure if this is what I'll work on after I'm finished recording, or if I'll work on something else, because I haven't done any cross stitch the last week. I was meant to set aside Mondays for cross stitching and I just didn't do it last week. Like I said, all I wanted to work on was my new cast on, and I kind of still do, but I really want to now get that project finished. So that might be my focus point today, at least, because it's a heavy project, and with the sun coming into this room, it acts almost like a greenhouse because of how big our window is in here. And so it might be too heavy a project right now. So we'll see. We'll see how we get on. And 2 sock projects to show off. One new cast on, and then the one I've left upstairs, which is my Cozy Memories blanket, which also hasn't had today's square on it because I've been outside. So I will show you. Oh, I've dropped stitches on this one. Let's pick these up real quick. There we go, saved. I've got a tangle. There we go. I'm still tangled. So these are my vanilla socks for myself that are being knit in the Starling West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply sock yarn. So these are going to be for me, and I've made the leg a little longer than I normally would, and these have been on hold because I cast on a new sock that I'll show you in a second. And so these are now on hold on the foot. I could pick it up. I really, really do prefer using my 9-inch circulars though for socks, because I can just go around and around and around and not have to worry about pulling the cable out and moving, like, and shimmying stitches along a cable. So that's a me thing, because I used to do things in double loop. Double loop? No, magic loop. I've got hiccups. And then I used to do my socks on, so I think I've done DPNs, magic loop, and then I moved to the 9-inch circular. And I don't like going back to the other two options. So I can't find my other, because I've got two 2.25mm 9-inch circulars, and I can only find one of them. I don't know where the second one is, otherwise I'd have both of these on the go at the same time. But I really love this colour. I've made not only the leg longer, which I said earlier, I've made the heel flap just a little bit longer as well. So normally I would only do 18 rows on the heel flap, and I just do a standard heel flap. I don't do word is right on the tip of my tongue. So I do slip a stitch, knit a stitch, and then I do the exact same. Like, I don't change it on the next one. So if I was to do slip knit on this next right side row, it would still be slip knit, and not knit slip, knit slip. Partridge heel, is that it? Eye of partridge, that might be it. So I'm not doing that. I'm just doing a standard heel flap and gusset. And I'm hoping, should have checked, hoping these are long enough to wear my Doc Martens with, so that they don't rub on the back of my leg. If not, no biggie. I would just need to make another pair, slightly longer. So like I say, these are kind of on hold at the moment, and I will get them picked up at some point, just not anytime soon. My next project may or may not get ripped back and started again. So my friend Teresa of 33rd Street Knits, who is on YouTube, I do recommend you go watch her because she is brilliant. They are doing a knit along, and it is the I Ain't Afraid of No Ghosts socks by Charlotte Stone of Stone Knits, and this is the pattern here. And the reason I'm not happy with my sock is my gauge. It's very loose and I'm not liking it. And I knit so loose because anytime I've done colourwork socks, they've been too tight. So I'm kind of like on that catch-22 situation right now. So I love the idea of the all over colourwork, but for me, I have a very wide foot, and so I only want the colourwork on the leg of the sock. I also think I have chosen the wrong yarn for this project. I have selected a self-striping from Marcus of Fiberpunk, and I think that was the wrong choice, and you'll see why in a second. So give myself enough slack from my yarn. So this is my progress, and I think the green is too bright for the white. And then because we've got a shift in the colour in the mouth, it looks a bit odd having one purple and one green. But my biggest issue is my gauge. And that's a me thing. That's not a yarn thing. It was never a yarn thing. I think I just picked the wrong yarn, because I love this yarn. I have a pair of socks in this, but they're just vanilla. My issue is the gauge. So you start on a 2.25, which is perfect. That's what I knit my socks in. And you start by casting on 64 stitches. There's 3 sizes, by the way, so I'm not giving away the whole pattern because it is a paid for pattern. But then you move to a different needle size and you increase your stitches, which wouldn't be a big loss for me. Like, it wouldn't make the sock unwearable. It would just make it a little roomier. Not baggy, but roomier. Because I wear my socks with a lot of negative ease. It's just how I like them. It means they don't fall down, they don't slip under my heel. They are nice and snug. But the last time I knit a pair of colourwork socks, I knit the whole sock and then couldn't wear it because it was too tight. I couldn't get it on. And so I think even though I've gone up a needle size and increased my stitch count, I've knit very loose, very, very loose. And it's just not nice. So I genuinely am going to rip this back to the ribbing and try again, which is really annoying because this is a knit along. But I need to ask Teresa what the details are for that, like when is the finishing date, if there is one, and see if I can at least get one sock done by that date. Because I'm not happy with it at all. I have been doing a ladderback jacquard, so you can see that here, because I just think that's the best when it comes to my floats. That's a personal preference. Like, I've been doing it on and off. Like, I will cast off the ladderback and then I'll start again. So you can see here that there's the ladderback in the green, and then it stops, and then I start again with the white. But then my only issue with ladderback jacquard is I can see where that starts. So see that hole there? That's where I started a new ladderback jacquard, because there's so few stitches. So I had it here. I had the ladderback up here. And then as the stitches got closer together, and I didn't need it to do 3 stitches, I've stopped probably up here. And then when it got wider for the next repeat, I've started the next ladderback jacquard. And you can see it. You can see the hole really clearly every single time I've done it. So there's one there. There's one there. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm looking in the camera to see that. I'm not even actually looking at the work, and I can see where a new one was. So that's another thing I don't like. And I've dropped another stitch. I am doing fantastically. So I'm trying to decide if do I stay with the bigger needle size and knit tighter, or do I go down a needle size and remain looser? So I think what I'm going to do, knowing I'm going to rip back, I think I'm going to knit a couple of rows tighter at the bigger needle size and see how it looks, what I think about it, and then put it on a long cable needle or cable and try it on and see if I can get it over the arch, like over my ankle basically, because that's the issue. It's too tight for it to go over my ankle. And we will see how we get on. I think there's also like a slight difference in the yarn thickness between the indie dyed yarn, which again is from Fiberpunk. This is Elphaba's Knickers. This is a couple of years old. And then my commercial yarn for the white. So I might see if I've got... I should have mini skeins of undyed wool. So I'll see if the thickness is just a little bit closer to this one. So this one's thicker than the commercial by just a tiny little bit. They're both 4-ply yarns, but the commercial is just a little bit thinner. So that's not helping the gauge situation. You can see the difference in the stitch sizes. So yeah, I'm going to knit a couple of rows, like I say, tighter on the same needle size and see what I think of the gauge that way. But I'm going to rethink the yarn as well and just see how we get on. So the black yarn is another commercial sock yarn just for the ribbing. I'm probably going to use that for the heel and the toe for the socks. So I'm going to rethink my background colour, because I don't know. I'm not happy with it. And I've dropped more stitches. I had to get like needle stoppers. But yeah. So it is a project. It's something I was working on. I love the socks. I love the pattern. I love the yarn. Just don't like the yarns together. Don't like the gauge. but I want the socks. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Nothing is set in stone. And there's no point in continuing with something that you're not happy with. Okay. Technically last project before I have to stop, run upstairs, get something, come back. And for some unknown, bizarre reason, I really wanted to start a circular blanket. Can't tell you why. Genuinely have no idea why I had to start a circular blanket. I didn't want to start a crochet one. I did not want to start a garter stitch one, just going back and forth, back and forth. I didn't want to do one with lace because I didn't want to think. I just, for some reason, wanted a circular blanket. And I couldn't really find one. I could, but I had to pay for it. And it was a little bit expensive for me right now because I'm trying very hard to save for Scott and I's honeymoon. And I'm trying to save without having to do overtime because that's why I'm burnt out. So I really want to try and find a free one if possible, which was not happening. And then I saw my friend Rosie had been making a lot of circular blankets, and I asked her, where did you get your pattern, basically? And she came back and she sent me the link, but she did warn me. She's like, it's more of a recipe than it is a blanket, like than it is a pattern. And I grudge paying a lot of money for that situation, because if they're only really giving you the gist of it, they can charge you an awful lot of money. That's not fair. So, oh my god, another ladybug. Sorry, I found a ladybug in our flat earlier, and I don't know how dangerous they are for the cat. And so I had to kind of get it out. But I put it out the back, and there's one climbing up her window in the front. And I saw one last week as well. I wonder if they're lucky. Don't know. So yeah, I wanted to start a circular blanket. I wanted to knit it with leftover sock scraps. And that's exactly what I done. So this is by a designer called Kate Celine. The pattern cost me £2.50. Again, it is more of a recipe than a pattern. And I don't even think the designer should have been charging £2.50 for what this was. Or for what you get. Personally, my opinion. But at least she wasn't charging like £5. I would have been so annoyed if I paid £5 for what I got at the end of the day. But this one here was my first ball of yarn. This is leftover Westchester Spinners, and I think it's Robin. I think that's that colourway. And then I don't know what the next one is, but I think it's like Happy Feet or something, like Sardar Happy Feet. Is that Sardar? Or King Cole? Maybe it's King Cole. But it's gorgeous. It's really lovely. It's more neutrals than anything, and I think it goes really well with the Robin. I'm not putting them in any particular order. I'm just trying to use up the smaller scraps first before I move on to the bigger ones, because obviously this is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I am very close to finishing the scrap I'm on. And then I'm going to move on to this one here, which has like greens and blues and a little bit of brown as well. So I guess that also kind of blends in a little bit. But again, I'm not doing it deliberately. I just know this is one of my smaller scraps. And I'm keeping a record of, I've decided that I want to keep a record of how much yarn I'm bringing into the house and how much yarn I'm putting out of the house with only new projects. I'm not doing it with, well, maybe when I redo the sock, I'll count that one. But I'm not doing it with the likes of this project, which was my Hexie cardigan. I'm not doing it with the carved pullover. Like, those were started a while back. These are only for projects going forward. And I'm going to call it Robin. If it's not Robin, I apologise. But the Robin Mini was 18.5 grams or 18.4. And then this one here was 27.4 grams. And then the new one is 18.4. The record of it's on my phone and I'm recording on my phone. So I am keeping a record of how much I'm using up. And I'm also going to start recording how much I'm bringing into the flat as well. But I'm really happy that I started this. The middle definitely is going to be blocked. Like, it is more kind of like peaked. I'm not sure if I'd done something wrong at the beginning. But that definitely will need blocked out. But everything else sits really good. So you do one repeat round and then one knit round, and you just keep doing that. And you've got 8 stitch markers throughout the whole project to kind of remind you where your increases are, because I would just keep going round and round and round. But yeah, this is just something that I can work on without thinking about. I can also stop at any point, like once I hit good enough for a baby, and say that is that done. It does not need to be adult sized at all. And it just keeps my hands busy, keeps my brain turned off, essentially. Like, I don't really have to think. I just have to look and be like, okay, increase time, and then so on. But yeah. My thing, like, when I look at it, it's not a semicircle. Like, that's, like, if I hold that straight up, that one, then this is not going straight down. It goes off to an angle. So it does make me worry I've done something wrong. But when I lay it out and if I push out the centre, it does lie flat. So that's the main thing. Yeah, I'm going to stop. Well, actually, I'm going to show you my bag of scraps, first of all. This is all my bag of scraps. So this is all sock yarns. So I've got like my... Oh, who was this? Happy Feet? No, that doesn't... Oh, hang on. Here's the tag. I had it tucked in. So this was... I dropped the tag and the yarn. Off to a great start. So this is Head Over Feet Stylecraft. I didn't think I had that right. And this is a Walking in Nature designed by Stuart Hillard. And it is the shade Wonder. And this is really lovely. I knit a pair of socks from my mum in this. And it's honestly just such a gorgeous yarn. But I've got like more West Yorkshire spinners. I've got leftover Woolcraft, I think that was. And then I've got... Oh, I can picture... this was Walbut, or... It's a German yarn, so apologies for the pronunciation. So I've got leftovers of that. I think this was more Woolcraft. And then I knit a pair of socks with this one, and it looks like Harry Potter colourways, like the houses. I bought this in Dumbarton. And then I've got the Scholler Stahl for Tisma. Got leftovers of that as well. And then some of them I do not have. I don't have ball bands for them at all. And I've just realised, I think I have... Oh no, that is a Christmas colourway. That's gingerbread. I thought that was the robin. That's the start colour of the blanket, but that's the gingerbread from West Yorkshire Spinners. What I'm trying to decide if I'm going to put this mini in, which is Regia, or if I'm going to use this to make baby socks for one of the 3 people I know that are pregnant at the moment. Because I just think this is brilliant. And I think this would do really, really good. But I've been asked not to make anything, or at least not ask about colours for 2 of them until they're past a certain point. Just due to history, family history and stuff like that. It's nothing about me making them anything or anything like that. It's all because of a previous situation. So I'm going to start recording, run upstairs, get my Cozy Memories blanket, and then we'll come down and continue, and I'll see you in just a second. I'm back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 new squares on it, and you'll see from the first marker. So I've got all of these new ones along the top. And then up onto the next level. And then that was the last one I put on, which was this last week's, which didn't get done on Monday. I'll be very perfectly honest with you, this did not get done on Monday. This was put on like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I've not had a lot of time to knit during work at the moment. And that is hopefully going to change for the better, because I'm going to be going through training, so I'm going to have to listen a lot and watch people do stuff. So, but then it'll be up to me to start learning, and then obviously I'll not have knitting time. So this might need to be moved back downstairs for me to work on, and maybe a sock goes back up into the office, just so that this actually does get work on it. But I'm really, really happy with the progress. I decided to put a progress keeper into where I originally decided to start doing this blanket more frequently. Just so that I can see where it was. So I started this square and then was like, I'm going to start working on this more frequently. And so I've put in a stitch marker to keep that separate, so that I can see my progress as well, to be like, I've actually done so much on this blanket. And another reason I'm thinking of bringing this downstairs and sitting it on top of these 2 containers. These are plastic cauldrons, and they've got all my minis. They're separated out into, I think the top one is variegated, and then the bottom one is a semi-solid or as close to solid as possible. The other reason I want to consider bringing it downstairs is because it's getting quite big for being on a desk. I mean, it's great if I could have it draped over me and work on it, but that's just not the case right now. It's too small in that sense, but having it kind of like draped over my desk, and half in this bowl, half out of this bowl, it's too big in that sense. So by bringing it down here, I will be able to just be like, okay, let's put a square on, and then put it back up here so that it's out the way. So yeah, I don't go over, if you're new to this channel, I don't go over who the yarns are from, because I don't remember any of them. Nope. This one, I do know. This one is Love Bugs Yarns, who isn't dying right now. Don't know if it's stopped forever or not. I knit a Mount Pleasant tee in this. This one was Queen of Pearls, I think. And this was in relation to the fundraiser for, I think it was Get Your Tits Out. The exposure set, the thing about exposure, when it came to, it's on the tip of my tongue. There was a dyer in Manchester who is no longer, and I was in their studio. I have a photo of myself with her. I think it's like, if I want exposure, I'll get my tits out. I think that was the full colorway, and there's like this big massive fundraiser for it. So that was from Queen of Pearls, who isn't dying either. And then I don't really remember any of the other ones. So yeah, very happy with the progress in the last, what, 6 weeks? 5 weeks, 6 weeks. So hopefully I will get loads more progress. Okay, so where did I put it? I literally had something here just yesterday. Where did I put it? Sorry about that. I did finally find it. So I want to talk about 2 things, and then I'm going to stop for the day, because this has actually turned out to be quite a long one, and this is only knitting. So I really wanted to cast on a new project, and it's all in preparation for Scott and I going to Vegas next year. We're going in April, so it shouldn't be outrageously hot, but it's still going to be warm. And I really want to make a couple of tops that I can wear when I'm over there, or at least throw on top of a camisole, because I don't like the state of my back. I have a unknown skin condition on my back. It's kind of like eczema, but it's not eczema. And because of that, I don't like people seeing my back. And so I wanted to make the Toaster Tee by Rebecca Clow of the Creabea. And I actually done a swatch. The colour's not really coming up. It's on par with my glasses, which I've just noticed. But it's actually a little bit brighter, a bit creamier of an orange in person. And oh, it's coming up brighter now that I'm focusing more. And the gauge is, now bear in mind, I was literally about to say the Toaster Tee is DK, but there's not. There's a 4-ply version and there is a DK version, and I am doing the 4-ply version, but I am doing a yarn held double. Now, this is a mystery yarn that I purchased in a charity shop. Unknown. All it says is 499 grams of 1-ply cone wool. It not only looks like cotton, because cotton's got that look to it, it feels like cotton, but I can't confirm it. Even though the lady that donated it was in the store when I purchased it, she can't confirm or deny it's cotton. But I cannot get gauge. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, gauge was 24 stitches over 4 inches, and I am at like 30, or maybe like 28. But I have, and that's on the lower section, and I didn't like this gauge because this is loose. Now I know I've said that it's to be worn over like a strappy top or a camisole, but in all honesty, I would love to just be able to wear it as a t-shirt, nothing underneath it apart from a bra. But that gauge is loose, and you would be able to see like my bra. And I know I'm going to be in Vegas. I know there's areas in Vegas where people wear way less, but they are normally showgirls who are dressed for their job. And I don't want that gauge. So even though I knew by going down a needle size I was going to get way more stitches and be further from gauge, I still went down a needle size, and I was much happier with that gauge. What I want to do is maybe try holding the yarn triple instead of double and see what happens. but I don't know. I don't know if I'm just being too adventurous by wanting to make things to wear while we're in Vegas, because no matter what the content is, whether it's wool, whether it's cotton, whether it's alpaca, blah, 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 whatever, I always get warmer. Nothing cools me down. Everyone always says, oh, wear this to cool you down, or drink tea to cool you down. That does not work for me. That does the complete opposite. It makes me warmer. So I don't know if I'm just being stupid by wanting to make stuff, but I'm just looking to be able to cover my back. So whether that's cardigans, whether that's knitted tees, blah, blah, blah. So what I'm also thinking is I might check the gauge for this portion, which was the smaller needle size, and see if that's close to gauge for the Mount Pleasant tee, which I have already knit 2 of. Excuse me. But I love that t-shirt. I love it so much. I've already knit it twice. So, although I've not worn that second one, I still have to block it. That was meant to be my blocking party, but I think I forgot about it. So I might make it in this colour and see, because I like that gauge. That's a nice gauge. But this hasn't been blocked, so I need to point that out. This has not been blocked. But I also need to learn and have a better understanding of gauge, because thankfully Maddie was able to help. I think that's House of Langford on YouTube, if you don't already watch. Maddie pointed me in the direction of Ali, who was kind enough to take some time to try and help me with this situation as to what I should do when it came to gauge. So if anyone knows anyone that does like a class or has a really good resource to understand gauge, please point me in that direction. Okay, and last thing is I have a couple of new acquisitions that I want to show off. So if you don't want to watch this part, thank you so much for watching until now. I hope you've enjoyed, and please remember to subscribe. I purchased Marcus's new yarn. This is Showtime. This is a self-striping yarn. It is 3 colours, and this is going to be socks. I just needed this colourway in my life. I saw it on his podcast, and then he said he was going to try and get it on Etsy that weekend, and I was basically watching like a hawk. And then I think it went live on like the Monday or the Tuesday, and I was just like, oh no, it's been live for ages, like I'm gonna have missed it, because there was only 8 skeins of this made. But I got it, I managed to snag one, and it arrived so fast. This arrived on Saturday, and I don't plan on casting on just yet with it. I want to get a couple of my projects finished, but I'm just so happy that I got this, because it's fantastic. My other 2 acquisitions are pattern books. So I got, although the Moodit one's crochet, sorry, so I'll show that one off more. But I got the newest edition of issue of Moodit, which is issue 7. And then I got the Doodle Directory. So this is from Jamie Lomax, which is Pacific Knitco. I knew it was Pacific, but for some reason I had it in my head it was like Pacific Northwest or something. So yeah, I pre-ordered this from Crookston Crafts, and I knew it was going to be a wait. I think I purchased it back in like August, and I knew it wouldn't be out until October, so it was a long wait, but I knew that. And it finally arrived, and I've already had a good flick through it, and I think it's brilliant. I would love some of the doodle decks, but I'm just not able to justify £20 per doodle deck right now. Not when I'm trying to save up for Vegas. But yeah, maybe one day I'll get the doodle decks, but for now the Doodle Directory will just have to do. So that is me done. That's my blethering done. Oogie is now curled up for a snooze, so I think I'll keep her toy hidden so that I don't disturb her. And I've got some cleaning to do. Annoyingly, I did have to hoover, but I'm going to wait till she wakes up because she is a little bit scared of the hoover. But yeah, I'm going to include some footage right after this, which is going to be super random, but I just thought it'd be fun. Maddie of House of Langford, if that is wrong, I will correct it down below. Apologies, Maddie, if it is wrong. We just today, like before I got home and started recording, we were out walking around Paisley because there was a pumpkin trail. So this is the Boo Paisley Pumpkin Halloween Trail, which is on between the 11th of October and Thursday the 31st. There are 12 brick pumpkins are lighting up Paisley Town Centre businesses, and you do get a map if you go into the piazza and pick this up. And then you go around and you can enter like a competition if you write down all the names of them. So like you've gone round and found all the names. But I just kept this. I didn't submit it because there was lots of kids going around. It does ask for your age, so maybe if there's like age appropriate gifts instead of, because it doesn't list any of the prizes. So there might be like an age appropriate one. But we both decided just to not bother submitting them. So that was really nice to get out. But yeah, check out Maddie's podcast. I will link it down below. If you don't already, like you probably already follow her because she's great. But yeah, I'm going to go clean. And then I think I'm going to try and get the collar of my Hexie cardigan finished. I'm going to keep binge watching the, Star Trek The Next Generation. I'm on season 2. I've been loving rewatching that. It's so good. But yeah, that is me. This is probably over an hour, and that's shocking considering, again, it's only the knitted stuff. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all staying safe and have a happy crafting time. Until the next video, which will be my crochet stuff. I don't know how to sign this off anymore. My brain has just turned off. Until the next video, please stay safe and catch you then. Bye.